Israeli leaders issued blunt warnings about possibly striking Iranian nuclear sites, and U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta reportedly believes that could happen within the next few months. Senior correspondent John Miller is here, along with Chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer. Good morning. The Pentagon used to be your base.
Melvin Laird was Secretary of Defense when I was
a couple of years ago. The Secretary of Defense saying this now about Israel this spring. What about the timing, and why would he say it that specifically?
Well, I think we want to do everything we can to keep Iran off balance, number one. We also want them to know that we know a lot about what they are doing. So I think this is, it's not surprising to hear this.
The question has always been how much consultation would take place if Israel made a decision to go.
You know, the interesting thing is the White House doesn't know the answer to that. I mean, the questions, you know, from the National Security Council on out are, do we get a day's notice, do we get a week's notice, or do we get 2 hours notice? And I think the latter scenario, you know, a couple of hours is the most likely, because Israel is not going to want to put itself in the position of having the U.S. have a lot of time to weigh in and gather any pressure once they know. So I think it'll be pretty fast.
But don't you think, John, that the United States wants Iran to know that we can't control this? This is something that we might urge them not to do this, but in the end, we can't control it.
And I think you've put your finger on, yesterday we arrived at the intersection of intelligence information and political messaging with, you know, Panetta on 60 Minutes on Sunday saying, well, they've got, it'll take them a year to get the material and another year to get the bomb. Kind of takes a lot of air out of the urgency, saying, well, sanctions have plenty of time to work. We can kind of get through this in time. Whereas an Israeli military uniformed official, and you don't make a statement like that without Bibi Netanyahu saying it's okay to do it, says it's a much shorter leash than that and things could happen faster.
Is there a difference between U.S. estimates and Israeli estimates as to when the red line will be crossed?
I think there's a difference between what the timing is, but not what the red line is.